We're happy to get the win. We're 1-0, but you look at it, it's just a tale of two halves. The first half, you look at the offense that executed well, defense that played well, and then the second half, you get a half where there was no rhythm. And you have to have rhythm, you have to have execution, guys. We can't turn the football over. You look at a turnover by our running backs. Vic Anderson has a turnover, and then Jeremy Wright, then the ball falls out of Stein's hand. But it's a game that we can learn a lot from, because it's good that we get the victory, and now we have a lot of work to do. We're nowhere near where we should be. You look at the first game, I thought we would have executed better than what we did. I thought that we would have made more plays. But you look at our receivers, Devontae Parker is a very talented. One of these days we're going to look up and say, wow, what a great player he's going to be. He doesn't do nothing but work. And I told Stein, I said, well, if you just throw that ball up, he'll go up and get it for you. And he went up and get it. Michael Lee made some catches for us. So if you look at that position, we're pretty talented. I was pretty pleased at the way our corners held up. You're looking at an offense that had 10 starters back, quarterback that averaged throwing the ball over more than 300 yards, did not give up many big plays in the secondary, blitzed a lot, was not afraid to bring pressure. I think maybe we've gotten to him 2 sacks, maybe not for sure on that. But, just overall, I was pleased with the way our defense played. And we can get better on defense, but we have to improve on offense in order for us to continue to make steps in this program.
Charlie, do you feel like this may be the kind of team this is this year in terms of the way the defense played and held, and maybe you get what you can out of the offense, but it's going to be a team that relies on this defense?
Well, if you look at our offense and you look at it, we started 5 new guys on the offensive line. Mario didn't play tonight. So you look at Cup at center, you go Miller, who's a true freshman. You look at Jake Smith, who's a redshirt freshman. Then you look at Hernandez, who's a tackle, who's a senior in the program, that hasn't played much. And then Kesslin, who hasn't played much. So you look at an offensive line that do it. It's just, actually, they're just trying to develop and gel together, that offensive line. Then a quarterback, you lose your 2 quarterbacks, now Stein comes in as your quarterback. But, it's fortunate tonight we were able to play all 3 of them. Teddy comes in with a series, end up throwing the ball down the middle. If he, ends up throwing the pick, but he's going to play more. And then Dominique, you look at Dominique, he's our wild card guy, but he's a guy who can get behind the pass. He can do a lot for us, whether it be quarterback, you see him running the football, but Dominique can do a lot. And then the wide receivers, but it may be one of those but we just have to play better. We know that we're better than that on offense. And defensively, it is. Our defense, even without Scruggs that playing the limited number of snaps that he played tonight, B.J. Butler not playing at all, Brandon Dunn not playing at all, Roy Fowler not playing at all. There's 4 guys right there on defense that did not play tonight, but B.J. DeBose played very well. It was the guy that hit the quarterback, the ball fluttered out. It's the one that Dexter intercepted. And then if you look, he made some really long runs where he ran the guy down from behind. So it was very pleased to see him play, very pleased to see Marcus Smith and Malcolm Mitchell, Randy Salmon. We had some guys that play a lot tonight on defense, but I was just very pleased with the way our corners played.
How would you assess the offensive line? I mean, you had the 5 new guys.
Well, it's 5 new guys, so it's going to take them a while to gel and come together, because you're looking at guys that, like I said, the 2 guards have never even played college ball before, but it's no excuse. It's still about putting hats on people and just doing your assignments, and it's all about execution and the assignment football. But it's gonna take a while for them to gel and really come together. We still have some work to do there.
What was the difference for Will between his playing the first half and the second half?
Well, it's all about rhythm and just making the throws. If you watch, he had a Chichester down the middle a couple of times wide open, and one time he just tried to just throw it, just strike it instead of just put some air on it and letting him run underneath it. Then one time we had him on a crossing route. But not so much of Will. Also, it's just the whole offense. It's not on the quarterback. It's on them all. The offensive line had to go block people. Running backs had to make some runs. We didn't see just really a big time breakaway run, which I thought we were seeing tonight, which that didn't happen. But Will is the quarterback, and you look for him to make those plays and look for him to manage that offense. But it was just the whole group, just the whole second half. You said, like, oh man, come on guys, let's get this thing going.
Was Teddy only playing 1 series, a product of the interception or a product of the game still kind of being within reach?
The game being within reach. You played him in the first half is 21. We may have been 21-0 at that time when he went in the game, and then the second half it was we just didn't get anything going, so we just left Stein in the game.
How do you assess the running backs?
When you look at the running backs, I wanted us to have us a couple of 100-yard rushes tonight, which we didn't get. But Vic played without the fumble. He ran hard. He was actually breaking out of a run there when the ball was stripped out of his hand, and then Jeremy Wright. But those guys can play much better than what they played. We can just play better. We can play better as a whole football team.
On the fake punts, did you come into it thinking you're going to try that tonight, or was it something you saw early in the game?
No, with the fake punts, we know this, that it was just the way they line up. We knew that we could get that. So the first time it actually worked. Then the second time they had a floater. And anytime the floater should have called it off, we would try to run it again. That's when the guy made the play on field punt. But the first one, it was an event. It's good that we were able to fake that punt and give somebody something to work on.
Go out that fast in practice.
He should have scored a touchdown if he just cut that ball back. He would have scored. He ran out of bounds, but everything was. I said, and he saw it. I should have cut it back. I said, yes, you would have scored.
All the points were scored by kids from the city of Louisville. Is that special at all, or did you note that? Or?
No, it's some really good players. I mean, you look at our football team, and I was just telling Brandon Down because we was joking one day. Look at on defense. Brandon Down's the starter. Jamon Brown comes in, plays a lot. Stephon Robertson played a lot. Then Devontae Parker's probably one of our better football players on the team. Vic Anderson's a really good football player. Radcliffe. Stein. We have some players from this city, so it's some really good players on our football team from this city.
Coach, who are the leaders that are going to have to step up here for this next game?
Oh, we're going to have to, if you look at us on offense, we're just going to have to manage that offense, but it's got to be Chad Chester, it's got to be Vic. Those guys are the seniors, those guys who played a lot for us. And then defense, Dexter did a good job tonight or this evening, playing very well. So you still look for Dexter Heyman to still come and be that guy for us.
Charlie, were you pretty pleased with, you used a lot of freshmen and redshirt freshmen tonight. Were you pretty pleased overall just with what you got out of those first-year guys?
Well, that's the way it's going to be. And I tell our guys all the time, you're not freshmen anymore. You're not redshirt freshmen. You've been practicing with us. Some of you guys have been here since a year. Some of you have been here since January. So it's time to grow up, and you're going to have to play. And what you try for them to understand is, just, if you're a skill guy, it's really skill is match up skill on skill. So a guy can be older than you, but if you're fast, like look at Devontae Parker. That's a skill guy. So it doesn't matter if you can match up with a guy, if you can run as well as a guy, and that just comes down to athletic ability. Where the true test is up front, because usually if a guy has been in your program 4 or 5 years, and then you take a guy like John Miller who's just coming into your program, that guy's been in the program 4 or 5 years, should be a better player, should be bigger, stronger than them. But the skill matchups is what we see, which we should, if a guy's good enough, then he should take advantage of his ability.
How big is the step up in competition between this week and next week?
Oh, it's going to be a big step. That team similar to us last season, get to a bowl game, and they won their bowl game. And this, they have speed like we have, and it'll be a good matchup for us next week.
You use 3 down linemen on defense the whole game. Is that because you're playing Murray, or are you going to do that a lot this year?
No, just because we played Murray. Well, because Murray they threw the ball a lot. But if you look at us, we played a lot of 3 down, but we was always bringing a 4th rusher from somewhere, sometimes 5. But they threw the ball a lot, and that's why you want to play the 3 down, so that you got enough guys out there, and you get your athletes in space, and guys can match up with guys.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
All right.
Open the room for those.